And welcome back everyone to my channel. My name is Daniel, and today we will be covering another full game, this time the second annual July Open, a round 2 game. This was played about a year ago, and my online rating had gone up to 1359, so some more improvement. Okay, so this is a relatively short game, which is why we're covering the full game, and it has many nice tactical moments. So, I'm playing black this time. So this time we open with a Sicilian, and in fact he plays the Alapin variation. So what's funny about this is that the Alapin, before this game, I had actually never won against the Alapin, and I faced the Alapin like 4 or 5 times before this, and each time I got crushed severely. So before this game, I specifically went and looked at this game before this round because I could prep a little bit as I knew my pairings a bit before, and I specifically made sure that I reviewed what I had when I went to study the Alapin. So I prepared d5, and so this is all stuff that I prepared. And then, in fact, actually, usually now in this move order, I would play bishop to g4 first. In order to get my bishop out, because as you can see with e6, then the bishop kind of gets stuck, which is a bit annoying sometimes, so usually I get the bishop out first now. But anyways, we continue on. This is some opening moves, and then we castle, and then here, so here now I have my queen and my rook on the open file, so which is why he moves the queen to c2, so that he can maybe play rook to d1 later on, in order to combat the 2 pieces I have on the open file. Here I play this move e5 in order to be able to duck his potential threat of rook to d1. I have the square on e6. Here he plays rook to d1 anyway. However, here instead of just directly playing queen to e6, I took some time and I actually found this really nice move. So I found this move bishop to f5. So bishop to f5, it looks like it doesn't make any sense. However, I calculated a lot of variations with this. So firstly, let's see. So what happens, let's say, if we take the bishop? So if we take the bishop, then I play queen takes d1. After bishop takes d1, I play rook takes d1, and this is a back rank checkmate. After knight to d1, rook takes d1, and this would end the game really quickly. Secondly, I thought that after rook takes d5, I could just play bishop takes c2, and it's just a simple queen trade. And he has to take my rook on d8, and after I take with the rook on a8, then now I have the open file. He still needs to develop his knight and his rook. And I have a relatively comfortable position. And so here, the third option, which I had also thought about, was if he moves his queen away. If he moves his queen away, then it's not attacked by the bishop, and I still have this, and he still has this threat on my queen. So here he plays this move queen to a4, and here I make a mistake, which I play. So I play queen to a5 here. This is not a good move, since after queen takes a5, knight takes a5. And simply knight takes e5, I'm down a pawn here, and this isn't really good for me. Fortunately, my opponent missed this, and he played this move queen to b3. After that, so I took the rook on d1. He plays bishop to d1, because I noticed that my queen on a5, it also controls this d8 square. So if he plays queen takes d1, then I have this move rook to d8. And now I reclaim the open file, and he still has these 2 pieces which he needs to develop. And I also attack the queen. So he has to take with the bishop in order to avoid this queen takes d1 followed by rook to d8. And here, I play queen to c7. So this pawn on b7 was a bit tender due to this queen on b3, so I decided to defend it. He plays bishop to e2, redeveloping his piece. And that's also why this move, rook takes d1, was good, because his bishop is forced to go back, so he has to redevelop it at some point. So here, I play bishop to e6, simply attacking the queen. Here he plays queen to c2, and here I take advantage of the fact that I notice his queen isn't defended. So I play this move knight to... So firstly, I play this move knight to g4, threatening the bishop. After bishop to d2, I play this move knight to b4, exploiting the fact that he cannot take, because if he takes, then he loses his queen. And then here, I notice both of my knights are really active, all my pieces are out and about, and these 2 pieces are still on their home squares and they have not developed. So this position I knew was a lot better for me. Here he plays this move queen to e4, which is demanding simply too much. He's venturing his queen out too much. A better move would have been queen to c1, just simply dropping back and trying to develop his pieces as quick as he can, although this position is already a lot better for me. After queen to e4, I find this good move f5. So f5, it attacks the queen, and simply his queen has ran out of moves. This is also why queen to c1 or maybe queen to d1 were better, because his queen has simply ventured out too far. He can't take this knight. His queen's attacked. He does not have any of these squares. Neither of these squares, because my knight controls it, my bishop controls it, my knight controls here as well, my knight controls here, my pawns control these two squares, my bishop controls here, and simply he has no moves. So he has to settle for sacrificing his queen. So he takes the knight, I take with the bishop, and in this trade he in fact gets 2 pieces. However, it's much more than that. My knight on g4, it's also eyeing up this h2 square, and I have this move e4 in the future to maybe get queen takes h2 in the future. So here, since it's my move, I also play e4 anyways, and then he has to play knight to g5. In fact, at this point the position's already lost. He's going to lose a piece. Let's say h3 for example, because simply because once the knight moves, I have queen takes h2. So let's say he counterattacks, then I can take the knight. Once he takes back, I can take the bishop. So I took 2 pieces to his 1 piece, meaning that I'm up a piece now, and this is a very favorable position for me, especially considering I'm also up a queen. And also he has 2 pieces that are undeveloped. So here, in fact, he just plays knight to g5, and here it's a simple mate in 2. I play queen takes h2, king to f1, and queen to h1 checkmate. So in general, a very, very nice and smooth game with many small tactical things, many small tactical shots that allowed me to win the game, as well as noticing some small positional things, such as this move rook takes d1 right here. Noticing that his bishop has to take, and if he takes with the queen, then I have rook to d8, and his pieces are not developed at all. Noticing these small things, as well as this really nice and splendid move bishop to f5, this tactical shot bishop to f5, in order to get a favorable position. In general, yeah, besides from that, it was a very smooth game, and I hope you all enjoyed, and see you next time. Thanks again.